The 2025 budget of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is a tale of promises, power, and protest under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Recall that upon assuming office in 2023, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu introduced the Renewed Hope agenda, pledging to tackle the challenges of Nigeria's economy and uplift the nation. His track record as the former governor of Lagos State, where he spearheaded significant infrastructural developments, lent credibility to his promises, and Nigerians, already weary of economic instability over the years, looked to him with cautious optimism. The budget of the previous year, tagged the Budget of Renewed Hope in 2024, and which was inspired by a vision that had attracted both optimism and skepticism across the country, captured an unprecedented expenditure of 27.5 trillion naira, marking a 19% increase from Nigeria's 2023's budget, with critical sectors such as education receiving a total amount of 2.18 trillion naira and representing 7.9% of the total budget. 1.33 trillion naira on health, accounting for 5% of the budget, 3.25 trillion naira on defense and security, constituting 12% of the budget, 1.32 trillion naira on infrastructure, which made up 5% of the budget. These allocations aimed to address long-standing challenges, from dilapidated educational facilities to inadequate healthcare services and security concerns. But as the year progressed, its implementation faced several hurdles, with critics pointing to delays and various inefficiencies. And while many are still battling to recover from the challenges of the implementation, Nigerians are faced with a greater challenge: the 2025 budget. Unveiled by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu before the National House of Assembly, the 2025 budget reveals a proposed expenditure of 47.96 trillion naira, meaning a staggering 36.8% increase from the 2024 estimate. This bold fiscal strategy was underpinned by optimistic assumptions, such that oil prices are projected at a benchmark of $75 per barrel, with an oil production target of 2 million barrels per day. Also, the exchange rate was projected for 1,400 naira to the US dollar. The budget also projected a revenue of 34.82 trillion naira, leaving a deficit of 13.13 trillion naira, equivalent to 3.89% of the GDP. This shortfall was slated to be financed through borrowing, raising concerns about the nation's growing debt profile. But what about the sectoral allocation and the reaction of the public? The 2025 budget allocations reflected the administration's priorities. Recurrent expenditure was at 14.2 trillion naira, a 20.34% increase from 11.8 trillion in 2024. Capital expenditure was projected for 13.6 trillion, which is a modest 3% rise from the previous year. Notably, the health sector received a significant boost, with 402 billion naira allocated for infrastructure investment and an additional 282.65 billion for the basic healthcare fund. This commitment aims to revitalize hospitals and improve healthcare delivery nationwide. But despite these ambitious figures, critics have voiced concerns over the budget's feasibility. The significant increase in recurrent expenditure raised questions about fiscal discipline, while the reliance on borrowing to finance the deficit sparked fears of escalating national debt. Labor unions and civil society groups also expressed skepticism, questioning whether the allocations would translate into tangible improvements in public services. The education sector for instance, received allocations below UNESCO's recommended benchmarks for developing countries, indicating potential underfunding. But supporters of the administration argued that the budget's expansionary stance was necessary to stimulate economic growth and address infrastructural deficits. They highlighted the increased capital expenditure as a commitment to development projects that would create jobs and improve living standards. The focus on health infrastructure and universal health coverage was seen as a positive step towards enhancing the nation's healthcare system. As President Tinubu concluded his budget presentation, the nation stood at crossroads. The 2025 budget embodies both the aspiration and anxieties of Nigerians. Its success would hinge not only on the figures presented, but on effective implementation and prudent management. The coming months would reveal whether the renewed hope agenda would fulfill its promises or become another chapter of unmet expectations. In the end, the 2025 budget is more than numbers on paper. It reflects Nigeria's struggles, dreams, and divisions, and the divergence in the political perspectives of Nigerians. Whether Tinubu emerges as a hero or as a disappointment will depend not on what he says but on what he does. And as the nation watches closely, the story of the 2025 budget is far from over as Nigerians await its effective implementation. Thanks for watching. If this is your first time on this channel, please make sure to hit on the subscribe and notification button for more of our videos on Nigerian politics and the Nigerian economy.